As the ranking member on the Senate Education Committee, I represent our conference and our leader, Senator Ort, along with fellow colleagues, Senator Wake, Senator Weber, Senator Oberacker, and Senator Steck. And I can assure you, each one of my colleagues behind me and in this conference, led by our leader, Senator Ort, has some serious concerns about the dastardly impact of this budget that Governor Hochul has presented to us, and its profound impacts on our kids, on our schools, on the priority of what we say we believe education is, on our local taxpayers. Each one individually behind me has their own individual concerns holistically and individually in their district. This is a budget that increases spending by $4 billion, $233.4 billion budget in total, has a deficit looming with it of $4.3 billion. And this governor has decided, as has been mentioned, to put $2.4 billion in there for a program that is failing us drastically, which deals with illegal migrants. In the philosophy of not developing a plan for a simulation to bring them into this nation and lead them to become citizens and be a part of this American dream. No, give them all the benefits we can possibly give them. Do not lead them to become citizens, and make sure they vote. Well, guess what? They tried that in New York City, and they did vote. Then they brought it to court, and it was unconstitutional because they believe, the courts, you can't vote. That's not a right when you're not a citizen. Now, having said that we have our own individual concerns, let me say this directly and succinctly. This conference, under the leadership of Senator Ort, is not going to go quietly into the night, allowing this budget, this governor, all the levers of power here to balance this terrible budget on the backs of our kids, our educational system, and backslide more from the progress we made because of decisions they made. It wasn't just because we had COVID. It was them saying, we're going to put kids in their kitchen, in front of a computer screen, and miles away are going to be teachers in front of another computer screen, and it's going to work out well. Well, it didn't work out well. It failed miserably. This budget is going to bring them back even farther negative direction with educational development. It's just a fact. Now, we are all public servants. We're all senators. We're all elected officials. But most importantly, we're representatives. We listen to our constituents. You know what our constituents say about education? Every poll I've seen, I've done them myself, the media's done, they appreciate it. It's a top priority. When we say, do you want to fund it? Absolutely, fund education. But there's two caveats. Can you make the scores improve and help the kids get better scores, better graduation rates? And by the way, don't take them out of a classroom and put those who have come here illegally, illegal migrants, into their schools and do what you did during COVID. They know that has been a failure right now. And they also say this: don't use immigration as a political tool. Don't provide a process that says you're going to spend millions and billions of dollars to use them as pawns on a chessboard to just kick the can down the road when they come in here, and to really not solve a problem in any way, but to exacerbate the problem. Then to pour salt in the wounds. Please don't go out to Washington anymore. Talk to the President of the United States. Talk to our senators and our congresspeople out there. And as a byproduct, say, do something about the border, but give us billions of dollars more so we can rent more buses, put more families and young children on buses, bring them to upstate and across this state, have them add to what the school board members have done to create the budget that costs $26,000 per student, the highest per capita per student, and then don't provide any assistance for those who, well, 2/3 in a district close to mine in Mohonasen use English as a second language. So now they have to hire teachers, special education instructors. It's failing miserably that concept. And the hypocrisy is really dripping. You can't get around the fact that the mayor of New York City, the governor, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle beat the drum every single day, and they're still doing it. Come one, come all. When they come, not so much. Not so much anymore. We have an obligation to let them know that this is a priority. And when I look at this budget, as you know, I've called it the hocus pocus. She doesn't have a magic wand. She doesn't have the sleight of hand of a Houdini. She's not going to pull a rabbit out of a hat with the spending process she's put in place, with the priorities she's put in place right now. We're going to backslide more, and in order to catch up in the future, really have to spend a lot more money to get our kids to a place that they deserve in terms of the educational development they have lost. Now, I like to say on occasion, tongue-in-cheek, as Senator Martin said, I had a real job at one time. I was an educator for 10 years. Taught kids with learning disabilities, challenges. And if you're a teacher in a classroom, you can understand why it becomes difficult for kids to understand the curriculum we're dealing with. Parents want good curriculum, they want great teachers, they want great facilities. If they have a toxic environment outside or a toxic environment within the school. And sometimes we do. And when we talk about funding and a lack of funding, we have high-need, low-wealth districts. They're not being taken care of now. Hold harmless. They're losing money right now. We all agreed we want to go forward. This went to court. We were behind what the Constitution said. We caught up, and now we're backsliding right now. But the most important part of all of this, kids may come to school hungry, difficult environments, is the funding and making sure if actions take place at a school and bullying takes place, that we just don't have a law that says you're going to have to contact the state education committee and let them know the impact of this particular incident. Without a law that was within that notifies the people who are asking, the parents, the people who pay the bills, we're asking them to come and assist and volunteer in PTA meetings and meet with their teachers, but we don't notify them when their child is being bullied, when their heads are being slammed into lockers. So we're not providing the funding, extremely important. We want parents to do a lot more, but we don't let them know and be a part of the mitigation in the plan to protect their children when they're being bullied in school. And that's a bill I have right now because of a boy named Jacob Terrace. You know about that. Jacob Terrace was being bullied in school and his parents never knew about it. And he took a gun and took his life. So there's a whole variety of ways we're failing our educational system and our parents. And I'll close the way I started. We're not going to go quietly in the night, allowing them to place a budget that is balanced on the backs of the future of our kids, of their education, which is so important, and with a cost to their taxpayers. This conference will not do that.